Hello, WPW Unlimited and Wrestling Unlimited. It is me, it is it is Shady Mike, and I am here to do a wrestling pay-per-view review. Now, this isn't going to be your standard pay-per-view review that you're used to seeing. No, this isn't going to be a WWE pay-per-view review. Should have done that beforehand. This is going to be a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla pay-per-view review. So, I have decided to do Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's show Black Coal Sun because in my opinion that is the greatest pay-per-view that I have ever seen. Not counting Survivor Series 01 and Royal Rumble 02, that is the greatest pay-per-view I have ever seen. If you've never seen Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, I strongly recommend you get on YouTube and just watch a couple of the show previews that they have because it's insane. Like, it's not your standard pro wrestling show. It's just hard-hitting, fast-paced matches all in just one-upsmanship of them trying to do better than the last match. So that puts out for some insanely awesome matches and just great product. Now, PWG is like the all-stars of the indies because everyone that goes there is well known in at least one area with names such as Adam Cole, baby, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Ricochet, Rich Swann, Johnny Gargano. I can keep going. Kevin Steen was there, El Generico, Pac, all of them now in WWE. So, Black Coal Sun, altogether as a pay-per-view, I would give a 10 out of a 10. I honestly would. There wasn't really a bad match on that card at all. There wasn't a match on there that I didn't watch with my full attention because I knew if I like stopped paying attention for just 1 minute, I would either miss an insanely sick spot, I would miss an amazing wrestling chain, or I'd miss a finish. I mean, it's so unpredictable on what you're gonna see. But enough with that. Let's get on with it. The first match was a six-man tag match. Rich Swann and the African American Wolves, ACH and AR Fox, going against Bobby Fish, Chuck Taylor, and Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano. Now, I'm looking at the phone just so that I don't mess up any of these names. I have seen it, yes, but I have shitty memory. Don't do drugs. That match is insane. If you want to set the bar for a pay-per-view, that is the match that you pick. Because that match had great wrestling, amazing spots, and a sick finish. Now, just one of the spots that are in that match, Chuck Taylor is calling for murder, which is when he has somebody standing on the outside apron, and he runs at them, and he takes them out. And he had ACH standing there. ACH does a moonsault off of it, just to have Johnny Gargano run from the other side of the rope and do a dive through the middle ropes and take him out. Crowd goes, they pop. Right after that, Chuck Taylor goes and just perfectly does a front flip over the top rope onto Rich Swann and AR Fox. Now, the crowd immediately just blew up. That's just one of the spots that were in that match that was insane. The whole match altogether was just great. It definitely set the bar high for that whole show, and in my opinion, that was one of the better matches of the whole show. The next match is Adam Cole, baby, going against Cedric Alexander. Now, I know you've seen the clip of Adam Cole's amazing entrance in that. It's great. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. You have to go find. You have to go look at it yourself. That match was pro wrestling. There weren't any like major spots. There wasn't any no selling, chain, fast paced, just kick to kick to kick. That match was pro wrestling. It was it was a clinic, is what it was. That match is also one of the better matches on that show. Now, I strongly recommend you go watch it because I can't even put it into words how great I thought that match was. Now, Adam Cole did come out and he won that match. After that match, he cut a very emotional promo saying that he had to go have elbow surgery, so he was gone majority of the year after that. But they wanted him to get surgery sooner, but he didn't because he wanted to wrestle in front of the Reseda crowd for them. He wanted to do his match because he didn't want to disappoint his fans. I mean, that's respect. I mean, just okay, all right. Next match. The next match, Trevor Lee and Chris Hero. Now, that match was stiff as hell. Granted, what Chris Hero match isn't, but if you've seen a Trevor Lee match, you know that he is a monster in that ring. He can go with the best of them, and he gave it right back to Hero. That was one of the stiffest matches in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla that I have seen, but it was put together so well. You could tell that they were comfortable working together because that match was just so clean. I didn't see any faults. That it was hard hitting, like I have said. It was just a phenomenal match all around. And Trevor Lee came out on top. He won, which surprised me, to be honest. Chris Hero, I don't he's one of those dudes I don't think should lose a whole lot, but I respect him for helping put over young Trevor Lee, which, I mean, if you wrestle in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, you're already over as fuck anyway. Alright, the next match was for the PWG World Tag Team Champion. It was the world's cutest team, Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan. This was before he became the fuckboy of professional wrestling, going against The Addiction, Chris Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian. That match was awkward. That was a very awkward match because Joey Ryan, he disappeared for a little while. So it was just The Addiction beating the holy hell out of Candice. And it made you a little uncomfortable to watch. Even the crowd was chanting, "This is awkward," but it was still put together so nicely that they made it work. I don't know. They made beating the hell out of a woman as if she were a man work. So that was a good match. It wasn't the best, but it was a good match. The next match is a fatal four-way. This match I didn't care for a whole lot. It was Brian Cage, Biff Busick, Tommaso Ciampa, and Yuha Nation. Now, going into that, I wanted Biff Busick to win because I am such a fan of Biff Busick. He has it all. I'm not going to say he has the look, but he's rough, he's tough, he's got wrestling down to a T, and yeah, I would love to see Biff Busick and Drew Gulak go head to head because that would just be a straight grapple competition. Anyway, back to the match. It was a good match. It had a few nice spots. It had a very nice finish. But I don't know, it's just something about Brian Cage I can't get into. I can't call myself a fan of him. I don't enjoy his matches a whole lot. I don't know. I mean, the dude's hella talented. He does shit I can't do. But I don't know. Alright, the next match. This match, my God. Chris Sabin and Matt Sydal against the Young Bucks. Now, you know it's going to be an insane match when you have Sydal and the Young Bucks in it. You've seen the Ring of Honor clip where they just fucked him up. You throw Chris Sabin in the mix, and it just becomes spot fest and technical wrestling. That match was so damn intense. I was literally on the edge of my seat the whole time. That match was amazing. There was nothing that went wrong in that match. Everybody did what everyone wanted to do. Everybody looked good doing it. Everyone looked strong, I could say. I don't want to, but I did. And Sydal and Bourne won. I was very surprised by that because that's a team that just looks like it kind of got thrown together, and they get put up against the top tag team in the indie division. I just said indie division. What the fuck? That match, the ending was spectacular. All the rest of the moves in it that were high impact were just awesome. You need to watch that match. The next match was for the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World title. Kyle O'Reilly was defending against Ricochet. Let that sink in. Kyle O'Reilly and Ricochet. Technical wrestling at its finest with MMA against technical wrestling at its finest with high flying. When those come together, you get a perfect title match. That title match was phenomenal. One of the best title matches I have ever seen. That match went on for a solid about 20 minutes. I mean, you might say that's a little short for a title match, but you'll see why. That match went on for about 20 minutes, following up with Kyle O'Reilly. He won. That match was amazing. Kyle O'Reilly won, only for right after to come out and get jumped by Roderick Strong, saying, if you don't give me a title match now, you're not going to walk out on your own. So Kyle O'Reilly starts to fight back, and he gets on the mic, because, Roddy Strong, he got out of the ring. He was back a little bit. He said, you can have a match tonight, but it will not be a normal match. A guerrilla warfare match. And right there. Guerrilla warfare match for the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Championship. Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong. Oh my god. That match was fucking awesome. You had wrestling. You had spots. You had hardcore, which they don't do a lot of. That match had it all. That match laid everything out on the line. They did everything that they could they did everything they could do to make it seem like there was story to it, because there was a little bit of story. Pro Wrestling Guerrilla doesn't usually have story. That one did. They made it work. It was special. And they did everything they could to make it seem like they wanted to beat the holy fuck out of each other without making it deathmatch-esque. So, I give that match 5 out of 5. And of course, my boy Roddy Strong came out with the victory. He is still your PWG World Champion. Well, that was my review for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's Black Coal Sun. If you actually sat through this whole video, thank you. If you want to see more of me, you probably don't, because I feel like this video sucked. I mean, tell Mefe, this is his channel. He just let me do it. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway. Alright.